Welcome to Fusing the Unfusable. Today we have a special guest, as usual, Mario Klapsis. Mario is a commercial and operational leader with over 25 years of experience driving transformational growth and innovation with a strong focus on fintech and payments. He's worked in both startup, scale-up, and blue chip environments worldwide. He's based in Dubai, where he has co-founded Twig Finance, which is a B2B2C startup focused on introducing the save now, buy later construct, helping consumers harness the power of savings and helping merchants grow their business. Mario holds a bachelor's and master's degree in mechanical engineering from McGill University and an MBA from INSEAD. Welcome, Mario.
It's a pleasure to be here, Karim. Thank you very much for your kind invite. And it's very exciting, actually, and very special being interviewed by yourself, given that we know each other for quite a long time,
Yeah,
actually.
30 years,
Exactly.
I think, probably, where we did study at McGill together. Mario, you've basically lived and worked all over the world. I think last you were in Singapore, you've lived in Sweden, in the UK for many, many years, in Canada, obviously, and you've been in this region for about 3 to 4 years. What makes the UAE so attractive for startups? And if we are to be a bit more constructive here, what can we do better in the UAE for startups to thrive and scale?
Absolutely. UAE, actually, I'll use a term that is quite often used or even abused, and that's the ecosystem. And I would actually argue that the UAE exemplifies what the term really is meant to be. I find it fascinating that in such small concentrations, whether in Dubai or in Abu Dhabi, you have all the players of the ecosystem so close to each other on a daily basis, working together, collaborating, networking, and actually pushing forward, at the end of the day, innovation. You have the innovators, you have the investors, you have the bankers, you have the regulators, and given the strong focus that there is on networking, this creates speed. This creates connections. At the end of the day, this brings results. And for people like myself, that as a co-founder, I'm focusing on having opportunities around me, that dynamic environment is exciting, is actually what attracted me to Dubai specifically, that I live in the first place, and why I'm very positive about UAE and its potential in this space now and in the future. In terms of what can be done more, I would actually, there's always something that can be done more. I would pick up two aspects. The first one is I would love to see more growth and more professionalism and more opportunities on the talent aspect, more or less the ability to attract talent quickly in competitive packages or costs at the end of the day, and to make this environment, this area, this country here where we live, actually a stronger magnet and a more efficient and effective magnet across the various roles and type of skills that are needed.
Especially developers, right? Especially technical.
Very much so.
So I want to comment on that, since I've been here most of my life, is that there's quite a few very good universities here that produce graduate a lot of very bright people that I think is untapped.
You're spot on. I would compare it to other places that I have lived. There is a very strong link, and I would call it direct link, between industry, whichever part of industry, can be the finance industry, the fintech industry, whatever you want to call it, and universities, and where the talent actually comes from. And goes in both ways, right? We need, as companies, access to talent, but at the same time, universities need access to opportunities, to research, to whatever other links can be out there with the community. And fintech is definitely an area that I think can leverage more and also offer more. The other part that I would like to see the UAE very much, and it's a very positive comment actually I'm making, is dare more and think more globally. I think that because it's such a dynamic environment and because it has all these positive factors that I mentioned going for it, think we can and we should, and in some areas we are already doing, dare more, think more globally, and actually impact in a stronger fashion over and beyond our country and our region.
It's definitely true. I really believe that there's an opportunity to being part of the community building space, work with the universities. And there's a lot of very bright young people that were born here in most cases, whose parents have moved here years ago, who are graduating from these universities, and they don't often have the best jobs available. And I think we need to do some matchmaking there.
Absolutely.
Bring them into the tech space, and some of them are quite technical. So your focus has been on finance and fintech, and I went to the Fintech Summit this year, and I realized that the fintech is suddenly just out of the blue, almost out of the blue. It's been a few years, but basically, disrupted this whole legacy, this whole space that was held by the banks for so long. And the lines are starting to blur between fintech, banks, exchanges, transfer companies, payment processors. What are your thoughts on the blurring of those lines, and where is fintech headed in the coming 5 years?
Absolutely. It's been an exciting journey over the period of the growth of fintech, even from the moment that the term actually appeared and consolidated itself. At the end of the day, fintech focuses on harnessing the latest technology available, on actually untapping or innovating in new or change or improved business models, and actually driving solutions to the targeted audience that improve the way that we have done traditionally business. If I take the area that I have focused the most, which is payments and finance, there is actually a very clear journey that started with open banking. So basically, this trove of data that was actually very much closed or enclosed within banks, with the help of the regulators and the fintechs and technologists, opening it up and making it available to drive new solutions, to drive new business models, to actually help consumers or help businesses with innovation or with innovative solutions. That's been a really highly exciting development, but it's just been the starting point. We're already working, operating, innovating in the open finance space, which is the next evolution in that journey. And this is, for example, where my company's Twig Finance is focused on right now. And that's opening up more areas of data, whether this is in investment, in insurance, or other ones, or merchants, and actually driving the same innovation journey. And it will continue into open data. So as such, there is a lot that has happened up to now and a lot that is expected to continue. So the blurring of the lines makes a lot of sense. As all this information was opened, is being opened, and will continue to open, the players of the past, or the traditional players like banks, have been moving their game to leverage themselves as well and reposition themselves with respect to their customer base and offer their own solutions, while fintechs create the innovative models to the general public, to the general target audience that they have. So that will continue, and it's a natural, I would say, consequence of this journey that I described. Where does it head to? I would expect more innovation to happen and more of this journey, harnessing technologies that are coming up or they're being developed today, whether this is AI, Web3, blockchain, and other ones, and actually tapping it both into the existing areas that as a continuation of the innovation, or actually into new areas, in my opinion, specifically to B2B, and specifically more solutions for SMEs, more solutions for cross-border trades and transactions, more solutions actually for trade finance. And a lot of excitement's coming, I think, and we're going to see a lot of innovation coming up.
Definitely one space that requires a lot of attention is SME banking, SME finance. And there's a lot of work to be done, especially here, small to medium size, the true SME, like small and medium sized businesses really need a lot of services. It's very frustrating at times to do business with banks, and hopefully fintechs will help improve that. Now, you're a co-founder and chief commercial officer for Twig and Twig Finance, and can you tell us about what you are seeking to do at Twig more specifically? And I love the metaphor that you are the mirror opposite of buy now, pay later, right? So, tell us about Twig and what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. We're 3 co-founders, and we share a passion for responsible spending. And what does this mean in the first place? We want to focus on helping people spend the money they have and not the money they would like to have. And how do we do this? We do it in a B2B2C model, which means that we are embedding a solution that we're developing into merchants' environment, into their own platforms, so that they can offer it to their customers. And as you said up front, we're harnessing the power of savings for consumers, and we're enabling merchants to drive more business. What merchants? We're focusing on merchants that sell high-ticket, high-value, aspirational items. This can be merchants that sell, for example, designer furniture, expensive home appliances, travel experiences, jewelry, many other ones where actually they cost a lot, and where traditionally as consumers we will think about, we will browse around, we will actually take our time to pick what we want to buy, think about how we're going to actually purchase it because it is expensive. And it's more important for us to go through that journey than just have that instant gratification, because it's actually something substantial. As such, our solution, which is based on savings, it's complementary to buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later is about quick fashion, is about the latest gadget of electronics like a phone, for example. It's very convenient. It's a debt-based solutions where we're saving-based solutions. BNPL is great for lower value transactions, and that's where it actually focuses. Save now, buy later is a savings-based solution for expensive items. So they're very much a mirror image and very much complementary to each other. Where we drive innovation, because we mentioned before innovation, is that this is a merchant solution, and fundamentally we are helping merchants address some of the most primary and basic needs of driving revenue, customer engagement, and other such good and nicest challenges the merchants explained, and they offer it to their customers.
Fantastic. I love it. And I love the fact that it's helping savings rather than, high interest debt payments and so forth. So, we're in the Web3 space. And, we're really focused on improving the poor user experience on our interfaces. What are some of the things that you've been doing, if you were, and I know you're involved somehow in the the front facing designs, and what are some of and how do you test some of those designs? Can you what can you share with us?
Absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, we're a B2B2C solution. So as such, we have 2 interfaces, and we focus with what we say a maniacal focus on both interfaces between business to business and between business to customer. One key differentiator that we have as a solution is the simplicity of use. So our solution is very simple for a merchant to integrate in their environment, in their platform, and use it on an ongoing basis. And we make sure that the UI, UX, the steps taken, the logic taken is as simple as possible. And equally, we make sure that the steps that a consumer or a client of that merchant, any industry that the merchant may be present in, that they also are able to use the solution in 1, 2, 3 steps. Very quick, very simple. How do you test that? Because that's an aspiration, right? We actually do the legwork, and honestly, I don't think there's any other way of doing it, of testing it across different industry segments with different merchant needs or customer expectations, and patiently understanding any changes that need to be made, any simplifications that need to be made, any improvements that need to be made, and go back and improve, and again and again and again. It's a long process, but I think actually it is what can make a lot of fintech solutions usable, what can make them easier to get adopted, what can drive success.
Yeah, it's wise advice. There's no doubt about it. And I love the fact that you guys address, often businesses look at the front, and then they forget the middle or the internal experience, even for their staff, right?
Exactly.
So the fact that you're looking at it from a merchant perspective and how do you make it smoother for merchants is key. And I think that's really, really valuable advice.
And patience pays. I've spent a number of years in open banking, opening open banking in different verticals, sub-verticals, industries in different parts of the world. And it's exciting to see actually, even in such a space that it's been out for some time, the difference between an interface, a user flow, an interaction 5 years ago and now. So that kind of patient work and improvement that drives the conversion, that drives the adoption, etc., it does pay off.
I love that. And that's definitely something that we need to work on better. So, we're trying to engage with everyone in the digital space. Fintech for us, coming from the blockchain space, are key builders that we will eventually get them to be building on blockchain, because that's the aspiration that we have. What part do you see blockchain technologies playing within or with fintech? Can you share some examples? Do you see any?
Absolutely. So what we're seeing in innovation is, I described actually the journey of openness, right? Going from open banking, focusing specifically on banking data, to open finance, focusing on finance data, to open data in general, open ID information of each one of us, etc. How to harness that power. That openness is key for a lot of areas in fintech, whether it's B2B, B2C, or combinations of the above. Web3 is all around connectivity and all around enabling the flows of this information, whatever data information there may be needed, and actually optimizing the use. That makes these two work and operate hand in hand, whether it's in a centralized environment, which is more of the legacy of where we come from, or a decentralized environment where blockchain operates and where so many new operating models or examples of innovation are out there. So because of this basis of fintech on data and openness, it is actually my expectations that it will continue to work closer and closer and closer with blockchain as well, as blockchain matures and creates opportunities. Because at the end of the day, fintech, we are looking for opportunities, we're focusing on opportunities, we want to change the way things are done, we want to make money out of that, we want to provide convenience. So whether it's a centralized or a decentralized environment, the way I think fintech approaches it is that, is there an opportunity? The answer is clearly yes. And let's go after that. And I think some of the examples I gave for the future of fintech, especially in the B2B space, I mentioned, for example, trade finance. Blockchain fits so well in that agenda of innovation, in that set of opportunities. Absolutely. Yeah. Whether this is about global trade, whether this is about corporate or business-to-business trade flows and transactions, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of expectation, actually.
There's one that came to mind while you were talking is self-sovereign identity. So open data, you go to a store and you want to buy something. They have open data with the bank, so they know who you are. How does that data get stored? How does it travel? cryptography, not cryptocurrency, but cryptography and blockchain can really play a big part in securing that data and all those interactions and ensuring that, you know, no person has access to all the data and that it remains secure. Right now, I don't know how that security is handled. So
I would actually tie it to, if you don't mind, to your first question about UAE. And I would say that this is an area where we're leaders globally. Not necessarily the only leaders. There's other countries, I'll mention India, for example, that are very strong on the definition of identity, on the use of identity, etc. So this is actually a space where I would expect a lot of the innovation or a lot of the ideas to come from here and to be pushed from here.
Yeah, I mean, the whole topic of self-sovereign identity is this idea, or zero knowledge proofs, right? Prove that you have enough money in the bank to, or you have a good credit so that you can buy something at, you know, the store can lend it, provide you a loan to buy it and things like that. I think in the end, it's not about using technology, it's about solving people's problems, right? Making them more efficient. And we're the ones that are thinking, we're the ones that are building, we're the ones that are like in the operations. We need to make sure that we're continuously, you know, stepping out to look back and make sure that what we're building is actually going to improve things for the consumer.
Exactly. The technology is the enabler. And this is how we think in fintech. What sets of technologies we have, how can we harness it? But fundamentally, what are the business model? Where are the business opportunities? Where is the innovation? And go after it. Blockchain is exactly the same way. There is a technology, leverage it, question the business models, come up with new ones, drive innovation, very similar stories.
It's fascinating. Mario, it's been a pleasure having you here. I hope to have you on again.
Thank you very much.
To talk about progress, hopefully when you go live with Twig. And have a great day ahead.
Thank you very much for having me.